My name is Cooper Rivers. I go to Adelphi University. I'm a sophomore on the men's swimming and diving team, and I'm from Lake Elsinore, California. So the coast-to-coast transition between California and New York, it's always a big deal. Every single time I go home, I always look back over the landscape and how there's always mountain ranges everywhere. Out here, it's all flat land, lots of green. You don't get much of that in California, seeing as though the area that I live in, it's a desert. So whenever you're driving along like the LIE, I believe it is, it's always green pastures all along the road. You go to California, it's open land. You see mountains all over the place. Another thing is the way that people talk out here. You know, I always get criticized for having a California accent, and then I always criticize people on their New York accent, especially like the word talk. People say talk, and especially my roommate, whenever he brings it up, I always say it to his face, and he's like, you gotta stop with that, and it's just a fun thing. So freshman year for me, coming from California to here, especially because out here it's all indoor pools, whereas back home I was always practicing in outdoor pools. Like the first couple practices, it was really rough, mainly because of the fact the whole ventilation system being indoors, it was kind of hard to breathe sometimes, but something that I had to get acclimated to over the year. And just having these teammates around and having this coach that came late due to unforeseen circumstances, it was a really tough year, but we really knocked it out of the park with it. I was really happy with the way that I'd swam, getting the couple records, being Rookie of the Year, all things that I'm really proud of myself for doing, especially given the circumstances that came up. I mean, there was especially at conference meet, there were lots of great competition that I honestly didn't expect. Before I got out here, I was looking at like the time standards and that stuff, and when I saw that there were other people, other competition, I saw that it was a great opportunity for me to really go all out, see how I could compare up to these kids. Didn't get first place like I expected myself to, and I wanted to get NCAA cuts, which is currently my goal for every single year that I'm here, including this year. But seeing that there's other people that are going to be out there to push me, and going back home and talking to my friends about how we're all swimming in college, it's something that really pushes me, drives me to be better, my family especially. Having my brother here is another thing. Being able to swim with him now opposed to last year, it's just a great experience. My best stroke is technically the individual medley, which is all four of the strokes combined, but if I was to choose a favorite stroke, it'd obviously be freestyle. It's fast paced, it's something that you can always see your competitor for. It gives you real motivation so that you can really pick it up towards the end. And that's something that I enjoy doing. The adrenaline that I get, seeing that somebody's in front of me and then you start catching up to them progressively, always makes me feel good. So a typical day in the day of a student athlete, especially for swimming, is always waking up in the morning. If you are not a swimmer and you're hearing about the day of the life of a swimmer, first thing that you gotta know, always waking up early, whether it be 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning for practice or for school or whatever it may be. Especially for me, like this year, for Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's waking up at 5:30 in the morning for practices, and then going to class, coming back for practices, and then having a couple more classes throughout the day. It's a lot of work, and it always leaves me exhausted by the end of the day, but if I don't go to my room exhausted from what the day has put me through, then I feel like that I haven't achieved much for the day. So knowing that I'm putting my best in the water and in my classes as a bio major, it's a lot of homework that you always have to do, a lot of stuff to remember, and being able to keep up with my classes and perform that way that I have in the water is always something that I look forward to at the end of the day. So having Coach Mark as my coach has probably been the best thing of my life. Like, I've had a lot of coaches in the past, I've been to multiple club teams, and Coach Mark has by far been the best coach that I can say, hands down. He has always been there for me. I'm always asking him questions on what I can critique. He's always given me straight answer, no lies. He's always there to push me. He is there whenever I need emotional support, which is something that you don't always get from a coach. He's really looking out for us like we're his own children, and that's something that I very much appreciate. So one thing that swimming and like being a student athlete in general has taught me mostly about life is that there's a lot of hard work that you have to put in, a lot of time that you dedicate to your sport, whatever it is that you're doing, your sport, your work, your school, whatever it may be. Being a student athlete is something that takes a lot of hard work, and it has taught me that that's something that's going to be progressively going on throughout life. And another thing is friends coming and going, going from different teams. You meet new people, you lose some people, and that's the way that it's going to be once I get out of college. But there are those friends that stick with you, that you meet along the way, and that's something that I really appreciate about what the sport has brought me.